I'm going to be talking about something today that probably a lot of people don't agree with, and that's that I think that they should stop doing open beta playtests. It's about getting as many people hyped up about the game as possible and not actually kind of focusing on the game. It's just about getting the player base to the game. And I think that can lead to a lot of bad things for the game itself. People get into the game, it's obviously unfinished because it's an open beta, and people kind of get the wrong impression of what the game is going to be like. First impressions are a really big thing. When people play the game for the first time that they're really excited about playing, that's been all this hype about, and the game is unfinished and there's a lot of bugs with it, people are kind of just going to stop playing the game, and they're not going to be excited or they're not going to come back for the actual release of the game, what the game is supposed to be. Back before all this shit, games were just obviously released upon completion. People got to experience for the first time what the game actually, the final product of the game. And then they could actually make up their mind whether or not they like that game, for what it is. It's not like you're playing a half-assed shit unfinished game. A movie production studio wouldn't release a movie half-finished, be like, oh, here, come to the theater and see half our movie. It's not finished yet, but come see half our movie. You wouldn't do that. You'd be like, well, it's not finished, so it's gonna be shit. And if they did that and people actually went to see it half finished, they'd be like, well, I'm not gonna come back and see the actual full movie because it's stupid, it's shit. So like, why would you do that with a game? You know what I mean? It's the same thing. So I actually the reason why I'm kind of talking about this is because of the recent playtests of Delta Force, which I really enjoyed the game. And for example, Arena Breakout, that was such a big thing that came out. Like it was an alpha test released. Just like the Delta Force, it was gonna be the Tarkov killer, all that and shit. And I enjoyed that game as well, but it's like you play it on before it's actually completed, and then it's like when it's actually released, you're kind of just bored of the game, so you don't go back to the game when it's actually fully released. Then it just kills that game itself. That's how I've been feeling. And so I've been really excited for Delta Force, and I really enjoyed the playtest. But then this recent playtest where it was open to everyone, there's been a lot of people that's complaining, being like, this isn't fixed. This isn't, this isn't fixed with the game. These bugs are still there and whatnot, and there's no new content and shit like that. And it's like, that doesn't bother me. It's still a playtest. It's still a good game. It's not fully done. So like, why are you expecting there to be more shit? You know what I mean? Now, I'm not following like the Delta Force Twitter and stuff like that, because I've heard that like they had said that they were doing all these updates and whatnot, and then with this open beta, then there was nothing. And so I mean, I get that, but that's my point, is that the game is kind of gonna kill itself because of these open beta playtests. People are getting pissed off because they were expecting certain shit, and it's like, then they're like, well, it's an open beta game. It's not complete. Why not just work on the game, complete it, and then release it? And you can always do updates if there's complaints from the gaming from the community of what they feel should be changed. You can always do an update to it. You know what I mean? Like, why are you doing this open beta where it's like a not finished game, and then people are gonna get the wrong impression from it, and then when you actually fully release the game, people aren't gonna go back to it and play it. And that's kind of what happened with Arena Breakout, because I thought that was a really good game as well, but like the player base dropped off so quick. Another game, a good example of that, was Gray Zone. It looked so good, but I don't think it's still fully released. It's still like doing updates and shit. I heard like 80% of its player base have dropped off and stopped playing because the game didn't work. It crashed all the time. It was glitchy as shit. Yeah, it's just this competition now to just take players away from other games, and it's just like we're just constantly getting shit games, which kind of leads me to my next point. It's like where people get bored quicker, they leave the game, and it's just this constant back and forth of this creating this industry of unfinished games, where it's like we're never actually fully playing a game that's fully finished, because when we play a beta and we get the wrong impressions from it, we don't want to go back and play that when it's fully finished, and there's already another game that's got an open beta that has piqued people's interest, and they're going playing that game. So then they're playing another game that's unfinished, and it's just like this constant back and forth, and it actually, I feel like it just ends up hurting the game itself, because it just, people don't want to go back and play it. And that's kind of how I feel like what it sounds like is happening with Delta Force. I personally don't feel like that. I really enjoyed the game, and I'm definitely going to keep playing it. Yeah, I think this open beta crap playtests need to stop, because it's just going to destroy the gaming industry. It is destroying the gaming industry. It's destroying the games that these people are creating. And yeah, I mean, Tarkov is another actual example, which is kind of its own thing, its own shit, but like that's been technically in beta since 2016 or some shit, and it's just like, oh man, just say this is the fully released game. This is, you know, off. I don't know. I'm sick of that shit. I miss when games were just like, okay, here's a new game. You get a couple trailers, and then it's actually finished and released. And you know, well, you're not paying fucking $100 for the thing, because I'm in Canada and new games are like $90. I don't know what they are in the States, but yeah, it's just like, it feels like it all started kind of with like Cyberpunk. Like that was like around the time where it's like, I mean, that wasn't an open beta. But they released a game that wasn't finished, and it was just so glitchy and just pissed people off so quick that, you know, I mean, now it's a really good game, but like at first, like it just didn't work. But that's another rant. I mean, that's my opinion. I think people are going to disagree with me, but you know, it is what it is. Let me know what you think. I mean, I'm still going to be playing that. I'm still going to be playing Delta Force when it releases and stuff. I enjoyed it. I hope it retains its player base, because I do really like the game. Plus, people are complaining, but it's like, dude, you're not even paying anything for the game. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally free. So, you know, like, for example, Tarkov is fucking $200 for, like, to actually get everything you want, like the Unheard Edition, which is not a thing anymore, but a technically not finished game. Like, that pisses me off. I'm stupid to do that, but, you know. Anyways, yeah, I hope Delta Force retains its player base, because I really enjoy it. But, yeah, I guess we'll see.